If you're watching this video now, it is because you have reached that point, that silent, intimate, and unbearable moment where something inside you begins to scream. Perhaps you cannot exactly name what is happening, but you feel that you can no longer continue living the same way. It's as if there's an internal crack, an invisible rupture that separates who you are from who you have been pretending to be. It is not a coincidence, it is inevitability. At some point in the human journey, everyone faces this inner collapse, and many ignore it, anesthetized by the comfort of routine or paralyzed by the fear of change. But for some, like you, this collapse transforms into a call, an impulse that can no longer be silenced. Carl Gustav Jung described this phenomenon as the call to individuation, a psychic process where the soul refuses to continue living under the masks that have been constructed to please, survive, and fit in. This video is not just content. It is a mirror, a symbolic reflection that reaches you exactly when your conscious mind has no more answers, but the unconscious already knows it is time to act. This is the moment when normal life begins to reveal its true face, an automated existence shaped by others' expectations, worn social roles and promises that are never fulfilled. Perhaps you are in a relationship that slowly drains your energy, or in a job that, although it pays the bills, silently murders your soul day after day. Perhaps what traps you is more subtle. The shame of displeasing your parents, the fear of not being accepted, the weight of a path that was laid out for you, but never by you. Jung warned us that the greatest danger of modern life is not chaos, but the unconscious adaptation to the inauthentic. The true catastrophe is living a life that is not yours and not even realizing it. And that is precisely why the call arises through suffering. When the psyche has tried, in every subtle way, to alert the ego through dreams, silent crises, emotional exhaustion, and has been ignored, it raises the volume. And what was once just discomfort turns into despair. What was once doubt transforms into anguish. What was once fatigue becomes collapse. And then something curious happens. You begin to attract exactly the messages, symbols, and signs you need to awaken. Not because the universe is magical, but because your soul is actively seeking the keys to escape the internal prison. It is at this moment that you find videos like this. Because the unconscious, as Jung described, has a symbolic intelligence, and it manifests when the ego is ready to listen. Most people live their lives as functional zombies. They wake up, work, produce, obey, and repeat. They think this is normal, but it's not. It's just common, and common is not synonymous with healthy. You were taught from an early age to seek stability, to follow rules, to fit in, to not make too much noise. The message was clear: don't question. Be grateful. Do what is right. But right for whom? Carl Jung wrote that the greatest threat to the individual soul in modernity is not madness nor misery, but massification, the transformation of a human into a statistical cog, valuing conformity over authenticity. When you feel suffocated by your routine, that's not a defect. It's a sign, a silent scream from your psyche saying, this is not you. You may have followed all the rules, graduated, got a job, found a partner, posted smiling photos, and yet you feel empty, as if there's a part of you observing everything from the outside. This dissociation is not illness, it's consciousness emerging. The unconscious signaling that the persona you built to survive is no longer enough to live. The normality sold to you is a sophisticated trap, offering small doses of pleasure likes, Netflix binges, viral memes in exchange for your freedom. You gain approval, a paycheck, belonging. But the price? Your truth, your voice, your spontaneity. Over time, you forget who you are. Jung warned that adaptation to society becomes pathological when it demands abandoning the self. That's what's happening to millions. Emotionally anesthetized, spiritually apathetic, lost in 12 billion daily hours of scrolling, where 210 million are hooked on dopamine loops from TikTok, YouTube, endless feeds. The system rewards obedience with distractions, delivery apps, likes, false security, all to keep you from asking, Am I living or just existing? This collective lie creates an illusion of normal life. But inside, you feel the crack. Trying to silence it with productivity or superficial bonds won't work. No distraction quiets a soul in crisis. When you question, the world says you're anxious, stress, take a vacation. But deep down, you know this is despair. Not failure, but awakening to a corrupt structure. False normality is psychic death, duties over meaning. Jung said the unlived life is a disease from which people die slowly, trapped in others' narratives. You're not broken. The illusion is crumbling because you're ready for more. If you're watching this, you've hit that silent, unbearable moment where something inside screams. You can't name it, but you know you can't live the same way anymore. It's an internal crack, splitting who you truly are from the mask you've worn to fit in, survive, please others. This isn't coincidence, it's inevitable. Every human journey leads here to this inner collapse. Most ignore it, numbed by routine or paralyzed by fear. But you? This suffering transforms into a call, an impulse too loud to silence. Carl Jung called it the call to individuation, your soul, rejecting the masks, demanding authenticity. This video is your mirror, arriving when your conscious mind runs dry. But your unconscious knows it's time to act. Normal life reveals its face. Automated, shaped by expectations, draining jobs, soulless relationships, paths not your own. Jung warned the real danger isn't chaos, but unconscious adaptation to inauthenticity. Suffering arises when subtle alerts dreams, exhaustion are ignored. Discomfort escalates to despair, fatigue to collapse. Then, curiously, you attract the signs you need. Messages, symbols, this video. Not magic, but your soul seeking escape keys. Society calls it failure, anxiety, stress, take a pill. But deep down, you sense its despair, signaling your life's structure crumbling. You're not broken, you're being reborn. Jung saw suffering as psyche's intentional mechanism. When ego resists, unconscious amplifies with symptoms, anxiety, apathy, anger, forcing you to stop, question, integrate. These aren't obstacles, they're the path, compelling old structures to fall for new emergence. Culture pushes normalcy, but that's your sickness. Don't fix yourself, free yourself. Pain is a threshold. Resist, it chronicizes. Listen, it initiates. You're not weak. Only mature souls face emptiness raw. As in post-traumatic growth, suffering alchemizes trauma to awakening. Like St. Francis renouncing wealth after illness, or Eckhart Tolle emerging from suicidal dread into enlightenment. Your malaise is prelude to transformation. Most live as zombies, waking, working, obeying. Common, not healthy. You felt the suffocation. Now heed the scream. This discomfort, this existential anguish, it's your psyche saying, this is not you. You followed rules, graduated, smiled for photos, yet emptiness lingers. Dissociation isn't illness, it's consciousness emerging. The normality sold is a trap, approval for freedom. Jung noted adaptation turns pathological when self is abandoned. Pain wakes you because your soul refuses half-living. When ready, signs whisper books, dreams, videos like this. Jung's Synchronicity, unconscious intelligence, magnetizing evolution tools. You're here because it resonates intimately. Suffering isn't defect. It's signal to shed persona, face shadow, birth true self. Cross it. You're ready. Have you ever felt that certain things come to you at the exact moment you need them most? A book that appears out of nowhere. A conversation that hits just the right spot. A video like this that shows up in your feed when you're on the brink of collapse. It's not coincidence. It's synchronicity. Carl Jung coined this term for meaningful coincidences that defy logic, inner psychic states, mirroring outer events without causal links. As Jung defined it, synchronicity is the simultaneous occurrence of a certain psychic state with one or more external events which appear as meaningful parallels to the momentary subjective state. Picture this. You're wrestling with despair, questioning your scripted life, and suddenly, symbols flood in numbers repeating, dreams echoing reality, chance encounters whispering truths. Your unconscious, that living intelligence Jung revered, activates. It's not magic. It's your psyche magnetizing guidance, pulling archetypal patterns from the collective unconscious into your path. In moments of crisis, like the inner scream, you felt the usual ego defenses crumble. This opens a portal where the unconscious speaks through synchronicity, charged with emotional intensity. Jung saw it as an acausal connecting principle, equal to causality, bridging psyche and matter at the psychoid level. Time folds, past, present, future intertwine in simultaneity. That video finding you? Not random algorithm your soul, summoning the key to unlock its prison. Jung developed this with physicist Wolfgang Pauli, challenging linear time. Synchronicity reveals timelessness. Events fall together precisely when you're ripe for transformation. Ignoring these signs? Like silencing a divine call. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate, Jung warned. Your recent breakdowns weren't punishment, they primed you for this. Now, symbols whisper, dreams insisting night after night, songs piercing your armor, strangers voicing your hidden thoughts. This video is one such sign, arriving not by chance, but as your unconscious ally, urging integration. Feel that pull? It's the psyche's symbolic language, bypassing rational resistance. Synchronicity isn't passive. It's active guidance from depths where psyche meets matter. In your awakening, expect more. Omens in crisis, mirrors in the mundane. Heed them, and the path clarifies. Resist, and they amplify into unrest. This is how the unconscious guides a hero's journey from collapse to rebirth. You're not lost. You're found by what seeks you. Embrace synchronicity as your unconscious guide. When outer world echoes inner turmoil, a crisis, perfectly timed with revelation trusted. Jung noted these peak in archetypal moments. Death, love, profound change. Your soul, refusing masks, orchestrates these falling togethers to propel individuation. This isn't woo-woo. It's psyche's intelligence, non-local like quantum entanglement, defying space-time. You felt it. This content resonating intimately, as if scripted for you. That's the mark, undeniable personal meaning. Next, we dive deeper. What fears block your leap? But first, recognize. These signs confirm you're ready. The unconscious doesn't whisper to the asleep. It speaks to the stirring. Listen, act, transform. Every true transformation demands a leap. Not into the void, but through the fire straight into the heart of your inner dragon. This is the guardian at the threshold of change, the archetype Jung described as the fierce protector of your deepest potentials. It's not a monster to slay, but a teacher to confront. The dragon breathes fire of doubt, fear, and resistance. You're crazy to quit that job. You'll disappoint everyone. What if you fail? It hoards your treasure, your authentic self, buried under layers of safety and conformity. You felt it stirring, that bone-deep terror as your old life crumbles. This is the psychic ordeal where ego battles shadow, where illusions burn away. Most retreat here, clinging to the familiar prison. But you're at the gate. The dragon tests. Does this matter enough? Are you brave enough to want what you truly desire, even if it shatters everything? Feel the flames licking at your heels. They're not destroying you. They're forging you. Confronting the dragon isn't violence, it's alchemy. Jung saw it as integrating the shadow, those repressed fears, angers, and desires you've hidden to fit in. The dragon guards the cave of your unconscious, where creativity, power, and wisdom sleep. Approach with fear, and it roars destruction. Approach with calm resolve, and it yields the horde's self-confidence, authenticity, wholeness. You've ignored its whispers through dreams, synchronicities, this very video. Now, it demands payment. Symbolic death of the false self. Let go of approval, stability, the script others wrote. As you pass through its flames, something sheds a worn identity, outdated attachments. No pain, just profound release. On the other side, not chaos, but emergence. Your true self rises, stronger, alive. This leap separates zombies from alchemists. The dragon isn't your enemy, it's the ally screaming. Transform or perish in pretense. You've reached this point for a reason. The fire is lit. Will you step through? The dragon's roar is your call to individuation. Jung warned, ignore it, and you adapt unconsciously to inauthenticity, dying slowly inside. Face it, and you claim the treasure real life. No maps, no guarantees, just the pull of your soul. This is Section 5, the leap. You've felt the crack, the synchronicities leading here. Now burn the old self. Leap. No one is coming to save you. That's the brutal truth staring back from the mirror of your soul. You've waited for a hero, your partner to change, your boss to notice, society to hand you meaning on a silver platter. But the call you've felt, that inner scream Jung called individuation, demands something fiercer, radical responsibility. It's not blame, it's power. Voluntarily owning every circumstance, every reaction, every choice that shaped your cage. Fleet Mall nailed it. Embrace 100% ownership, not for guilt, but to shift from victim to creator. Your pain? Not a curse, but a signal. Stop outsourcing your freedom. The drama triangle: victim, villain, rescuer keeps you trapped in blame and helplessness. Break it. Locate control inside, not in external chaos. Imagine the weight lifting as you claim, my responses shape my reality. Not the job draining your soul, not the family expectations suffocating your truth, but how you choose to act now. Radical responsibility means ditching the villain's accusations, the victim's despair, the rescuer's false fixes. It's resilience forged in fire. View challenges as growth, not defeat. Set intentions that align with your core, not the world script. You've crossed the fear threshold. Now build from the ashes. No guru, no pill, no distraction saves you, only you stepping into agency. This is your leap from suffering to sovereignty. The unconscious guided you here. Now, consciously choose. Own it all and watch your life transform. This isn't easy. Fear will whisper you're unprepared, that failure looms. But radical responsibility silences it. You're not broken, you're ready. Stop waiting for permission. Act. In the soul-murdering job. Release draining ties. Reclaim your path. Jung warned of massification, turning souls into cogs. You've awakened. Now, wield your responsibility always, not sometimes. With self-compassion, reflect, adjust, grow. Every choice is a brick in your authentic life. No one comes. You rise. This moment, your declaration of war on inauthenticity. Choose responsibility. Choose you. Every process of real transformation requires a crossing. And every crossing requires a leap. Not a physical leap, but a psychic one. The moment you abandon the narrative that kept you safe, yet miserable, for a version of yourself you do not yet know. This is the critical point of individuation, where most retreat. Because the leap terrifies. It means losing footing, guarantees, maps. Saying no to what seems right outside, to yes what pulses inside. Jung compared it to confronting the inner dragon, the archetype of fears, doubts, resistances at change's threshold. This dragon whispers you're crazy, unprepared, will lose everything, disappoint all, regret it. It parades failure scenarios. Because if you leap, it dies. The ego fears symbolic death above pain. But truth, this fear isn't retreat's warning. It's advance's sign. You're exactly at the portal. Fear marks the sacred threshold. Before freedom, confront your shadow, the abyss of avoided feelings. Face rejection's fear, failure, loss. Grieve what dies for new birth. It hurts, paralyzes, but liberates. Cross even stumbling, crying, doubting, and beyond fear lies life. Real life, presence, authenticity, meaning. Not survival or conformity. You needn't be 100% ready. No one is. Just tired of pretending, fed up with lies, brave enough to say, I don't know what's next, but I can't stay. This watershed separates anesthetized lives from daring awakenings. If you've reached here, urgency burns. The question, what's holding you? The choice to cross is now. Write in comments, I choose to cross. Name it. Invoke it. Seal your new life's first decision.